Hey guys, Genuine Assholes here, and we just saw Hacksaw Ridge, the brand new movie directed by Mel Gibson, based upon the World War II true story of Desmond Doss, who refused to bear arms and went to war. George, what did you think of this movie?
I think it's good to have Mel Gibson back in the director's chair.
It is good to have Mel Gibson back.
Hell of a movie.
We're a little shaken because this movie, it's a lot. It starts off a little slow, I will say that. There was some building up with the love interest in the beginning.
Yeah, but that's because the second half is relentless.
Well, the second half is relentless. But this was
in a great way.
This was a crazy movie, a touching story, a true story. Just one man's beliefs and where he went with them, how far he went with them. Great acting in this movie.
Yeah, not a bad performance.
Andrew Garfield
in this movie.
Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn, you know, this is the best thing he's probably done since Wedding Crashers, honestly.
He's really nice, he's really good in it.
Surprisingly good.
What's that other guy's name?
Sam Worthington.
Sam Worthington's good. I really like Hugo Weaving too, as the father. He was.
You
really
haven't
good.
seen him in
much. He
really.
gave a really good performance. I've never seen him give a performance like that. He was
Mr.
really good.
Anders.
But this movie, it's definitely a gut punch.
Yeah.
You know,
I watched the whole movie like this, the whole second half at least like this, like. It's real, like, you don't get many movies where you're sitting there and, like, you really feel your heart pounding.
Right. If you go see this movie, definitely give it the time, though, because it does build up a little bit in the beginning. It does. And you need to, it's coming. Like, the movie's coming.
It's coming.
And it's shit. When it goes, it's really, there's parts that are hard to watch.
It's just Mel Gibson, what he does best. And just the war scene, the scenes are just...
Yeah.
They're realistic. Gritty movie about strength and courage and the human spirit and what it could accomplish. And
definitely going to get some Oscar buzz because this is a good one.
Without a doubt.
I think Mel Gibson should at least get nominated.
You got that Mel Gibson religious undertones, but apparently that's the guy was. That's what he was.
Well, there's a lot of, it's an easy story for Mel Gibson to tackle because he's coming from that religious background. He did Passion of the Christ.
But it's nothing, you don't have to be religious.
Right.
It's just,
there are some, there's a lot of symbolism in there, I feel like, thrown in there with some of the scenes. But it's not overbearing on you. And it's enjoyable.
It's just, that's who the guy was.
That's who the guy was, like you said. Definitely a good movie. What would you give it star rating?
5 out of 5.
I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to give it 4.5 out of 5, only because I felt like the beginning was a little lacking for me, but it's not necessarily, it doesn't hurt the movie in any way. I just feel like, obviously the second half is amazing, and building up this character took the time, but it was almost like, for me, I felt like a little bit like two different movies from the beginning, which I wish there was just a way. I didn't want them, I'm kind of contradicting myself, because I didn't want them to just jump right into the action, but like, I don't know.
You want to know what? The second half made up for
it did.
Not that slow beginning.
No, it wasn't that it was slow. It wasn't that it was slow. It just
you took.
It had a lot to get out of the way, but it was a good movie. Definitely worth seeing.
It's definitely a movie that I feel it was probably cut a little bit.
Yeah,
like there's gonna.
There's probably
this movie we had probably a 4-hour cut.
Well, that's another thing. It was like what, like 2 hours and 10 minutes
probably.
or so.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah, no, that's a good length though. So even with that, I think that's probably the shortest it could have been.
Yeah.
So check out Hacksaw Ridge.
Definitely worth the time and money.
Let us know what you think in the comments. Check out the other videos. Check out the sketches, guys. Subscribe, and thanks for watching. Oh wait, I'm still here. Let me give you a quick announcement. My podcast, the Genuine Assholes Movie Podcast, is now available on the iTunes Store and on the website. I'll put a link below this video, so check that out. It's basically going to be a podcast where I talk with other people, like my brother Sal, about movies, some bad, some good. The first episode, Roadhouse, the 1989 classic starring Patrick Swayze. I mean, how could you miss on that? Check it out, guys, on iTunes, and check out my other videos again. Thank you.